enjoy the day, which you all certainly deserve. So I'm going to be as quick as I can so you can go out and celebrate, which is really what this day I think is all about as well. I do also want to thank Mark McKenzie. He has just done an incredible job for so long, and I know he's going to continue to do the work that he has done with all of us, and I want to thank him personally. Also, I just want to send some greetings from our Senate Minority Leader, Senator Larson. She sends her regrets because she couldn't be here. I know she's been here every year to speak with you and to honor you. But she is at the Democratic National Convention in Charlotte. And I know that we would all agree that the last 2 years in Concord have been not only difficult for us, but they have been entirely unacceptable. And everyone in this room knows firsthand about that Republicans' assault on collective bargaining, workers' pay, our benefits, your pensions, and not only the House, but it has been just as bad in the Senate as it was in the House. And we are not going to take all up the time this morning, and it would have to go deep into the afternoon to tell you and to list the most outrageous legislation that passed in the Senate. But I need only one piece of legislation to illustrate what my point truly is this morning, and that is the so-called Right to Work bill. I, along with all of you, was certainly thrilled when the House failed to override the governor's veto of that bill, HB 472. But you know that had the House overridden that veto, the bill would have flown, and I'm telling you the truth, it would have flown straight through the Senate with very little debate, and we would now be a right-to-work state. So New Hampshire Republicans simply have the wrong priorities for middle-class families and for the New Hampshire economy. And it is time to take back the majority. It is time to put our middle-class families and our working men and women first. They built this great state, and they are the ones who are going to grow the economy here in New Hampshire. And have visited many different industries, but every time that I visit a manufacturing industry or a hospital, a school, or I'm on a construction site, I usually ask workers this question because I want to know, what is it that gets you to work every day, that keeps you working hard, and compels you to work overtime on cold days, in the heat that we've had this last summer, just to get the job done? And I get the same answers, and this is what I hear. It is for my family, and it is to provide a future for my children. Democrats get it. We all know that as parents, at the end of the day, we want to walk home, we want to walk into our homes, we want to open that door, we want to look at our children, and we want to say to them, I worked hard today so that you have a safe place to live, that you have a warm home to come home to. I work hard today so that we have food on our table, and so that when you are sick, I can provide good health care to you to make you better. That's why we work hard, and I call that a life with dignity and respect. And it is time to make working men and women number one. Yeah, it is. They truly do. They just simply have this wrong. You know that they cut funding for our local schools. They raised our property taxes while giving millions of taxpayer dollars to private religious schools. The Senate fought hard against many anti-worker legislation over the past 2 years, and you know that. But being outnumbered, we were 5 Democrats to 19 Republicans in the Senate. It makes not our jobs just difficult, it makes it impossible. So I know that while we are gathered here today, and I want to celebrate, and you're celebrating New Hampshire's working men and women, I'm also here to appeal to you to help over the next 9 weeks. We all know, we heard today, that it is critical that we all work to re-elect President Obama, and to elect Democratic governor, to elect 2 great women to the U.S. House of Congress, to retake the majority We need you to make those phone calls, go door to door and put up those signs. But most importantly, we need you to tell the story about what has happened in Concord over those last 2 years. And how necessary it really is to elect candidates for the Senate who will fight for working families instead of attacking them. And along with Senator Larson, I just want to tell you that many of the candidates could not be here today because they're working hard in Charlotte for all of us. And those include our great Senator Del Sandro, Martha Fuller-Clark, Betty Lasky, Peggy Gilmore, Donna Soucy, and Carol Croto. And I know that they're still working. They're going to work hard, I know, when they're down there because they're going to be winners on November 6th, as all of us are. But I do want to introduce to you some of the Senate candidates who are here today and are going to work and are continuing to work, and I know that you support them as they support working families. So would like to ask Andrew Hosmer to stand. Take care. Oh, and I'm sorry, Katie. I didn't get your name up here. Sorry about that. Katie Mesner. Stand up again. You get two stand up. And where's Arthur? There's Arthur Beaudry back here. So, just to close, I just want to say that in every election there is a choice, and this year, as you heard earlier, the choices could not be clearer. So, we can choose to have 2 more years of attacks on workers' rights, on workers' pay, and on workers' benefits. Or we can choose to have 2 years of productive legislation that protects workers' rights. We can choose to either work as hard as we can over the next 9 weeks to elect candidates who will work to support our working families and to grow our economy, or we can spend the next 2 years fighting a Tea Party legislature and their extreme agenda. We can choose to go backwards, and I mean way backwards, in the direction of the Republican legislature and their extreme agenda, or we can choose to move our state forward by helping our families and businesses to succeed. I know what choice I'm going to make, and I promise you that the Senate Democrats who you saw stand up and those who are not with us today will always choose to support our working families. And I want to thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of today's celebration on this great, great Labor Day holiday. Thank you so much.